Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to a video for the brand new game that just came out called Charmed and Dangerous, a princess adventure. The Sisters Grimm base set. It's a different take on the fairy fantasy involving the princesses. So I'm gonna kind of do like a quick video just sort of explaining how it's played, and then I'm gonna do a second video going through actually all the components. So basically how the game is played is every character will get a princess. Sorry for kind of hard to see, these are foiled and make it a little bit trickier to see. But you're going to get one of your various princesses. This is Briar Rose, the Green Necromancer. All the princesses are going to have various skills, and I'm not worried about what they are, but they have like different colors. This is a 1 here, a 1 there. Versus if we have Dorothy Gale here, the Weather Witch. She has a green one over here and the blue one down here. Some of them will have a 1 up on top. And then they all have various special abilities. So you can flip them over and it shows their abilities on the back too. Or the facets as they call them. And these are basically the power that you use to defeat the evil forces. So when you're playing the game, you're going to pick one of the 2 decks they have. And then each deck has a special layer and a boss. The bosses aren't directly tied to the decks, so although this is the Shadow Keep, which would normally go with the Dark Fairy boss, who you want to try and beat, you can play it with the other boss. You can mix and match the decks. When the expansions come out, you can mix and match with them, just to keep the game interesting. Basically, the way the game is played is you play all the cards down in a 9 by 9 grid, or sorry, 3 by 3, making 9 tiles. And then on your turn, the princesses are going to try and defeat. They need to defeat the villainess. And to do that, they need to go through this foe deck, or Forces of Evil deck, to try and accumulate points. So on their turn, they have the option to explore or draw cards. They can draw cards as special cards, but we'll go over those. They can explore, so if they flip this over, this is one of the bad guys, Ladama. And it's just showing she has a threat level of 2 green. So if I took Dorothy here, I'll flip to this side, she has 1 green. So that means since she has a green, she can fight her, but she needs another point in green. So she'd have to get another card from her hand that she could play, or something else. Briar Rose here does not have a green, therefore she cannot fight her unless she has a card that gives her green abilities. And then this is a co-op game, so you're playing with multiple people, so you might be, hey, like, you have a card that can maybe help me defeat this person. It's either you all win or you all lose. And then they have different abilities and effects. Basically what happens, if you don't defeat this guy, you have to discard cards from your hand. If anytime you can't discard cards from your hand, everyone loses. This is why you need to all work together. But if you do defeat this card, so let's say I'm playing as Dorothy, and I beat her, then I get to do is, slide the foe's deck off the side. I get to actually attach this card to the side, and then now she has 2 for this ability. So that's how you gain more points. Well, she can't actually gain 2 because she doesn't have a facet right away. You have to have one of these matching. But there are cards in the deck, in your dangerous deck, which are your cards that you play that would give it to you. So Briar Rose, on the other hand, could gain this since she already has one. So now she'd have 3 every time she fights. So this should be an example of a different guy. You need two of the blue. You need at least a blue to fight them, and you need two of them. But now, if Dorothy beat this guy, she could do that. Now she has three, and that's how you fight harder and harder guys. So that's essentially what the game is. And then one of the other actions you can do in your turn is, rather than exploring a new tile or a new part of the board, is if this wasn't defeated, you can choose to fight it again. And there's various villains and that. I'll do a video of the components so you can see all the different cards. But that's about how simple that goes. But now you can see how difficult one of the bosses can be. Here's a threat level of 12 red, 5 green, 10 orange. So that means you have to have a combination of all of these, of your princesses have to have at least that. The one thing though is when you go to fight the boss, every princess has to join what they call a squad battle. So all of them have to work together to fight. And I believe this is the only time you can actually use the facets on the card themselves to help out. Normally, if I was playing as Dorothy and I needed some help, I could ask one of the other players and they could provide a card to help me. When you go to fight the boss though, you actually use all of the facets and all the other abilities. But you have to gain up that way. And then they have she has her own abilities. She has a master stroke, which does stuff. And then she starts off actually hitting, and then you get cards that reveal her. So you can't even fight her right off the bat. So that's kind of a nice thing too. Then you're like, ooh, who am I fighting? And then they come out later. There are other cards you're going to get in here. These are the dangerous deck. And this gives you cards in your hands. This lets you discard a face down foe. Get rid of some guys. Gain 2 in any single facet. So this is a card you can either play on yourself or help a teammate. Gain +2 orange for the entire turn. The other unique card in the deck, there's a ton of these which are called charming cards. So if you have to run away from a battle because you can't win, either normally you have to discard 2 cards, or you can just discard 1 charming. And that's beneficial because, again, if you run out of cards to discard, you lose. So the more charmings you have kind of saved up, the more helpful that is. And there's a ton of those in the deck. There are also other cards with some curse cards which do different things. These are double-sided. There's various characters. There are 2 different decks. The other deck was the Gingerbread Cottage. And they have the backs are all different on the back. Plus they have the cards in the deck have the symbols in the bottom. I presume that you probably could mix and match all these if you wanted to at some point. It just might mess with the difficulty of the synergy because some of the cards in the deck revolve having multiple of the same character. Yes, that's just a quick how to play. I mean, there's a little bit more when you actually get into it, but at least now if you're interested in what this game was, you have an idea. Is you place out this grid, you flip cards over, you try and have enough points to beat them. If you can't, play cards from your hand or ask another player to help you out. But only one player can help you. So if you're playing a 4-player game or a 5-player game, only one other person can help you each battle. But you gotta work as a team to win. It's just a unique take on these different princesses. You've got Gretel, who's a barbarian. Briar Rose is a necromancer. Dorothy Gale is a witch. And Snow White's the archer. They do have an expansion that's coming out in January, which will add Snow White as a cleric. And I think one other character, I don't remember. It's a goblin. She's not one of the main characters. But yeah, no, it seems like an interesting game, and the 2 villains they have are the Dark Fairy and the Candy Witch. So that's just a quick overview of the game. Again, this was Charmed and Dangerous, a Sisters Grimm rulebook. Well, a Sister Grimm game. This is the rulebook for it. Yeah, so this kind of the field you place out, except these are normally face down. You can clip those cards to the side. The different facets: Fierce, Harmony, Majesty, Charm. Your turn. Draw 2 cards from the deck. Choose an action. Yeah, so it's like a pretty fun game. But yeah, now if you see it in the store and you're interested, you kind of got an idea what you're getting yourself into before you drop the money. Check you guys later. Bye.